we're back from Mexico. As you can tell, a little bit of a tan, a little bit sun-kissed, Kyle. I know, I get it. Just getting ready for Texas, you know, gotta get that base tan in. 4 days until we leave for TX2K. I know you guys don't like me calling it Texas 2K. I don't know why I say that. It's because it's in Texas. Okay, whatever it is. Still a bunch of things to do. You wanna see my list? I'll show you my list. Maybe not that many things to do, like the battery, the wiring, the dump valve. I've got to get everything programmed into the Holly. That's gonna be the biggest issue. And then these are like, you know, smaller things to do, but they're still things to do. Finger's still busted. Literally every video that I post right now is like, where's the formula cart? I've got to be honest with you guys. I shelved it for a little bit for a couple different reasons. One, I wanted to get this car done so we can go to Texas because I do love racing the most. Out of everything, that's just what gives me joy. You gotta understand that YouTube doesn't really pay a lot, so everything that I do is out of pleasure more than it is for the money, because, you know, we make money other places. So I binned the formula cart just for a little bit. I'm gonna get back to it. It's just, now you gotta remember that I'm just one guy, and I feel like I took on a project that might have been a little bit over my head and a little bit out of my skill level, and I did enjoy learning as I went, but then as I learned and progressed more, I look back on things and I was like, shit, I really like to change that. And then it just felt like it wasn't good enough in every single way. And then I was like, I want to redo stuff. I designed something and I built it, and then it got in the way of something else, and then I just didn't like how I had to band-aid fix it. And it was just making me stressed and didn't want to come out in the garage and work on it. So I just binned it for a little bit just to get it off my mind. It's not that it's gone forever, and it's not that I won't continue it, and it's not that it won't even be the final iteration maybe. But as you can see, the shop space isn't the biggest. We have these two spaces right here, and then we have three spaces, over in the other garage if we pack everything super tight. I have nowhere to park anything outside the garage, in my backyard, or anything like that. We just don't have a ton of space. Which leads me to my next point, the shop space. The shop space would have been awesome in every single way. And I said would have been because obviously we didn't get it. Now there's some stipulations behind that. I'm gonna get into it in a little bit of detail here in a minute, but first I just need to put things into context. My garage right here is roughly 24 by 25 square feet. 24 by 25 feet, which makes 600 square feet. So if we look around here, 600 square feet gets you a couple of shelves back there. You can comfortably put 2 cars in here. And then I have some shelving over here, which I should probably get rid of just to make a little bit more room in here. And this summer I do plan to do that and revamp the shop just a little bit in order to make some more space. We're still hopeful that the perfect shop is out there for us. And you'll understand in a moment here why that wasn't the perfect shop after you get into the details. I want the car in the background because it looks kind of cool, you know? I've got some notes here. If you see me looking down at them, it's because I got the memory of a goldfish. So if you guys recall, the shop space was around 1,600 square feet. So that's what I'm basing all the numbers around. I just rounded it up, 1,600 square feet, which is roughly 2.5 times, it is 2.5 times this shop space. So if we can comfortably fit 2 vehicles in here, we probably could have comfortably fit 5 in there just by the arrangement of the place. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to estimate that the shop was between $400,000 and $450,000 to buy the place, just going off like listings that are listed right now. I'll put an example right here. This one's like 1,600 square feet, a little bit newer. It has a bit more operating costs actually, but it's, like I said, it's like brand new. It doesn't have a mezzanine, but it's still a pretty good shop. I don't want to make this boring, so I'm trying to figure out how to go with this. So we wanted something in like the 2-year lease range because we don't want to be stuck with anything in case something better comes up, or we find a house with some space, or we're able to move or something like that. Now, before anybody gets into like, why don't you just move, or why don't you get space outside of town? So we live in an oil town. That was by choice, obviously, for me anyways. Gina just happened to live with her parents and ended up staying here anyways. So everything's gonna cost a little more because you make a lot more money here, and that's the opportunity we all took when we moved here. So you just have to keep that in mind, and I obviously have that in my mind too, but sometimes it's just a little ridiculous. And I'm thankful for the opportunities that I had here. We've outgrown them a little bit. So first of all, we can't move because my stepkids and Gina's kids, obviously, their dad lives here, and we can't pull them away from their dad, and that wouldn't be fair anyways. But ideally, it would be nice to move somewhere where it's a little bit cheaper because we don't work out here and utilize the benefits of working here, the higher wages and stuff. So we're just kind of stuck with the higher cost of living, and it's just something we have to deal with right now, and we understand that. So moving past that. The second thing is you can't really buy space outside of town because there's not really any space outside of town. There's no like acreages or anything around here because we're so secluded in an oil town. It's just how it is. We're kind of stuck a little bit, and you know what? That's okay, but shop space would be nice. So we're being optimistic that the right one is gonna come and play, and we will get it. But for now, we're stuck in this little shop, and I hope you guys don't mind that. And we're going to Texas and stuff like that to try and make better content and have more fun. So bear with me a little bit. I'm doing my best, I promise. Sometimes it gets a little depressing, especially with how cold it is. We're greeted with this today. Probably should fix that door seal. Yeah, snow drifts and stuff in the backyard. It's also like minus 20 Fahrenheit out right now too. I keep looking at the screen just cause like, I feel like my pecs look pretty good right now in this shirt. 1320, you guys make good like workout shirts. Look at that. Anyways, I'm really rambling on, aren't I? First of all, they wanted $25 per square foot a year, which that's just how the math works out, plus a $4.15 square foot per year operating cost, which brings you to $29.15 square foot per year. So you take that number, the $29.15, and you times it by the 1,600 square feet, and that gives you what it costs for the entire year, and then just divide that by 12 and you kind of get your monthly costs. That's without utilities, so we'd have to pay utilities on top of that. All of that was fine. We were okay paying that number. It would have been something like $4,500 to $5,500 a month, which, you know, is a bit steep for 1,600 square feet. A lot of you are going to be like out of your mind blown. But like I said, we live in an oil town. It was expected. G and I are doing pretty well. And I know a lot of you guys know that we do like only blank. I don't want to get into an argument over it. It's just like a personal life choice. It gives us so much freedom. It's a great lifestyle. Don't worry about it. Let's just call it $5,000 a month. Perfectly fine. But on the offer, you don't want to come in at their offer. So we came in at like $22 a square foot per year, plus operating costs, obviously, because you can't negotiate those. Those are always going to be there. And for whatever reason, Alberta must like hate small businesses, because this is a really weird stipulation that I've never even heard of before. But if you put a car inside of a shop, it has to have a makeup air unit. The city doesn't tell you which makeup air unit to have. They just say, get a professional to install it. It needs to be engineered and you have to have one. The makeup air unit for 1,600 square feet is roughly like $40,000 to $50,000. It's like a newer thing that they're enforcing everyone to have. And it seems like landowners are like, you should pay that. So if we want to move into the shop up front before any inspections, anything done, we've got to put a $40,000 or $50,000 out of our pocket makeup air unit into this building. But here's the kicker that I hate the most. That unit stays in the building when you leave. So if we sign a 2-year lease, it's $50,000 up front, basically $50,000 a year. So we'll end up paying $150,000 for 2 years. And then they have a shop upgrade like they did us a favor. So as you can see, that's not the ideal predicament. Like, we were okay paying the money, but not okay with like upgrading the shop just so we could be in there. So in our offer, we said we'll pay the $22 per square foot a year, plus the operating costs, plus the utilities. You have to install the makeup air unit because it's obviously your bay. You do the upgrade and then we'll move in. Now, that's just the initial offering. There's counter offering and stuff like that. So we sent that off. We waited for them to come back, and here's what they came back with. Their counter offer was they give us an option of 2 years or 5 years. 2 years at $24 per square foot, which is almost like the original square foot dollar amount, which is okay. I would pay that amount if we could have the shop space. Obviously, we need it. If we could just do a lot more in there, it'd be better. But they wanted us to pay the markup air unit, so which is the $40,000 or $50,000 cost. And then obviously they keep it at the end, which that just sounded dumb and we didn't want to do that. Or they gave us an option of 5-year lease, which who knows what we're going to be doing in 5 years? Who knows what you're going to be doing? You don't even know what you're going to be doing next weekend, let alone 5 years. So a 5-year commitment for something that I'm doing is just like giant. That doesn't even make sense. I really don't even want to live in this town just because, you know, there's more opportunities elsewhere, and in 5 years, the kids are going to be grown up and who knows where we'll be living. So rent would start at $22 where we initially offered in. But every year it goes up by $1 per square foot. So first year is 22, next year 23, next year 24, next year 25, next year 26. I'll save you the math. The total for that, $225,000 plus the utilities. That includes the operating cost. That's not on them, that's on us. That's just something you can't avoid. That's there regardless. That includes like snow clearing and maintenance and stuff like that. But they were generous enough to say, we're not going to give you that makeup air unit, but we'll give you $13,000 towards a $50,000 air unit that I'm going to keep in the end, but you should feel grateful for. That's definitely not the context of the conversation. That's how I like to think it to make myself laugh a little bit. If you add it all together, it's roughly like $270,000 minus the $13,000 they're going to give us. It's like $260,000, something like that, on a building that might be $400,000. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather buy the building, pay my mortgage on it, have the asset, and sell it again after. That would be the logical thing to do. But then again, I don't want to commit to this town. So this is where we're at. We're stuck right here in this garage. So despite not getting that shop, we're still hopeful that maybe the right shop is going to come up. One that already has a markup air unit, one that isn't going to charge us an arm and a leg for rent just for being hobbyists. We're also going to keep our eye out for maybe a house upgrade, because the house we're in right now is a little bit on the small side for everything that we do. I obviously need a lot of space out in the garage. And then Gina utilizes a lot of this space in the house. She does a lot of cosplay stuff. She does a lot of streaming. She does a lot of like painting and body painting. And she just needs a lot more storage than we have in the house. And a house upgrade would be the smartest idea, probably. We could take that $5,000 rent and get ourselves into a nice big house. We're just waiting for a good one to come on the market, because the houses around here are few and far between that mark all the criteria that we need. One being a spot to build a bigger shop or already have a bigger shop. It's got to be in the area that has high-speed internet. Gina likes to stream a lot, so we can't go super far out of town that doesn't have high-speed internet. And obviously we need more just general space. So we're staying hopeful that we can find that place as well. And you know what? Manifested to me, it's going to come, and it's going to come exactly when we need it. And we're exactly where we need to be right now. So we didn't get this shop. I'm a little bummed about it, but in the end, it's not meant to be. The Formula car will come back. I just needed a break from it, guys. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have had a project where you just come out in the garage and you look at it and you're like, I don't even know what to do next. I have a list of things I need to do, but I just don't know where to go with it. I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, oh, I want to redesign something, but that's not on my list, and then I start picking at something, and it's a disaster. I needed to back away from it, look at it from the bigger perspective, come back to it when I feel like I love it again, and right now I just didn't love it. But you know what I do love? Building turbo kits, making my car fun, and going to Texas. So we've got 4 days till Texas. I've never been to the United States with my car racing ever. I've only ever gone with Rich to Sick Week or Rich on Rocky Mountain Race Week. I've never been the guy. And I really hope that this trip opens other opportunities to go to more trips in the States. Geologically, we're just not in a great place. It's a 12-hour drive just to the United States border, and then, you know, a 1,000,000-hour drive to Florida or Texas or wherever. So I hope that this opens my eyes to like, okay, just get out there, start driving, make it to some of these events, you can meet people, and it's going to be great, Kyle. Everything's going to work out fine. In the meantime, I've got lots of work to do because I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to not have my car ready for Texas. So I'll see you guys in a couple days, hopefully when this thing is done and we're on the road to Texas, and you're watching that video and you guys are getting hyped about TX2K and I'm getting hyped about TX2K, and I hope to see you guys there. Peace easy. Get that V.